a temple of food and hospitality. Everyone loves Italy, but who doesn't love pizza? Tourists have spoiled the restaurateurs here, and he will be on the beach with a cocktail shaker, wearing a hat and sunglasses. We'll eat fish and have bananas as a snack. I want pizza, I want pasta, I want something different. And if you want to do...
Hello friends, my name is Maxim. Welcome to the Alanya Life Without Censorship channel. We continue our series, How to Start a Business in Turkey. And today we will interview the owner and proprietor of the restaurant chain, I do not hesitate to say Sicily. And we will discuss how he got to this point and why he opened the restaurant. In general, we will ask all sorts of questions, so make sure to watch the video until the end. It will be interesting. Let's go. So friends, we are in a restaurant in Sicily. This is one of the very first restaurants that Inal opened. Inal, good afternoon, hello. And today we are discussing the topic of business. How to start a business, what challenges arise in starting a business, and why we enter the business world. So thank you Inal for agreeing to give us this interview.
Thank you for your attention to my humble self.
And to your humble restaurant, Inal, please tell us, where are you from?
I am originally from North Ossetia, Alanya. It's also surprisingly close. I lived my whole life in St. Petersburg. A few years ago, I came on vacation to Alanya, and after a family discussion, we decided to stay.
That's exactly the question.
I came here 2 years ago, just for a vacation. I had no plans to stay, but I had a rather long vacation, 3 months, and we somehow got used to it, and decided that we would stay here.
Listen, actually this story is very similar. We also came on vacation, stayed for a month, fell in love, and so on. What makes Alanya so attractive?
Why do people stay here? First of all, I think it's the climate and the compactness of this city and its coziness. You start to understand a little later. First and foremost, you fall in love with the climate. The abundance of fruits, vegetables, nature, and the hospitality of this people. And that's why it's geographically convenient. Moreover, Turkey currently has a good transport hub, so from any perspective, Turkey is now an island of democracy in the world.
Okay. Did you have thoughts about starting a business right away? Or did you contemplate this idea for some time? And why specifically the restaurant business?
Actually, I wasn't planning anything. Well, again, after living here for a year, I didn't do anything. I just reflected and philosophized about life. Was I observing? Yes, I was observing. There has been a shortage of delicious food because I love to eat. Throughout my life, I could plan my courses and trips, even if it was from the restaurant. I'm a big fan of this. So, the idea came to mind. Why not create a delicious restaurant here? A quality one, good, with the right approach to the concept.
Yes, it is indeed about the right approach. Why? Because I completely agree with you that there is actually a lack of quality, good cuisine and restaurants here.
Yes, I felt this deficiency myself. And in fact, the services and restaurants are there for you to step away a bit from the classic Turkish experience. Of course, they have delicious food and everything, but when you live here, you can't eat the same thing all the time. You want pizza, you want pasta, you want something different, something European, more in line with what we are used to, both in terms of service and presentation, and the attitude towards food. Well, if you want to do something well, do it yourself.
Okay. Please tell me about your journey to opening a restaurant, the costs, the challenges you faced, and what you encountered. Well, to open a business here, in general, everything is actually very simple. You hire an accountant, roughly speaking, he takes a package of certain documents in bed, plus you have fire safety, sanitary inspection, and so on. Well, maybe you need to drink some additional.
No, in general, everything has been listed. The fire station, the sanitary and epidemiological station, and the administration check and give permission first. You just need to consult the legal code with lawyers and accountants at every stage, to avoid making any mistakes. This way, everything will be according to the law, and then everything will work, and there won't be any problem. Then you can open your business.
Please tell me, did you communicate with one accountant or did you go through several accountants? The same goes for lawyers.
I consciously hired in-house accountants because I understood that the story doesn't end with just one restaurant, so I needed a compensator. A competent person with whom I can communicate on a daily basis. How? Did you find an accountant? I found her through mutual friends. She worked in taxation, and now she works with us. Go ahead, now she works with us.
Yes, because when I arrived 5 years ago and thought about starting a company, I spoke with many lawyers, many accountants, and the most interesting thing is that they all seem to say the same thing, but they all said it differently. This is a national characteristic. Friends, as they say, enough with the truth, tell us how it really is. There is such a problem.
There are accountants here, they are divided here. There is an accountant auditor who submits tax reports and puts their resolution before submitting the documents. We do have an in-house accountant who collects primary documentation and keeps track of everything within the company. Therefore, accounting in Turkey is divided into several stages. This is important to understand.
Please tell me, it is clear that starting a business in Turkey is quite simple. Yes, it is quite simple. Renting a space, there are many options available.
There are many premises available. The question is, when you choose the direction of your business, whether you are looking for a premises, a location, a place or land, it is essential to ensure in advance that this specific premises or this specific land is suitable for the goals you are pursuing. This is important. This is a piece of advice for your viewers. Initially, you need to ensure that all the authorities you will have to go through approve of this particular premises. If this puzzle fits together, then it will be very easy for you to proceed.
Have you conducted any marketing research, surveys and so on?
Regarding the restaurant business, Kestel is a good area, in my opinion. The low-rise buildings here are different from Mamutlar, which is tall and large with many people. Kestel feels a bit calmer to me. I just liked it more.
I really like Kestel, unlike Mahmutlar.
Yes, and that's why I actually decided to open my first restaurant in Kestel, because it is a district with a certain charm. So Oba is like a center, it's bustling with everything. Mamutlar has its own life, and then there's Kestel, a little oasis of tranquility that I liked. I even had the idea of creating a restaurant area in Alanya, but for now, it remains just an idea. I looked around. Alanya is quite compact and small. I went myself, explored, visited different places, interacted, ate and tried. Well, the idea for an Italian restaurant came because I love Italy. There is a lot that is connected to Italy. Well, I believe that Italian cuisine is quite the most popular, because here the Turks are a rather authentic people when it comes to food. They eat their own. They love their food. It is really delicious, but I was told that they wouldn't eat anything else, but everyone loves Italy. I mean, who doesn't love pizza? Pizza is loved all over the world. Pasta is loved all over the world. So I didn't go wrong, because when you open a business here, you shouldn't rely on the expat community.
The wise thing, in fact, should not be aimed solely at a foreign audience, only at tourists, my friends. In any case, you have a percentage of your clients who are Turkish-speaking citizens, and it's more than 10%.
We have guests. After all, we are in the hospitality industry. Hotels and restaurants represent hospitality, which is why we refer to them as guests. And our percentage ratio is currently about 25%. That is Turks.
Turkish citizens, right?
They fell in love with this place because we are a multinational team. We have Turkish people in the kitchen, we have Turks behind the bar, and the staff includes waiters. That is, we strive to make it comfortable, not just for a specific group of people, but for everyone. We are open to everyone. We are a temple of food and hospitality.
That's a good name. The main difficulties that arise when starting any business in Turkey, especially in Alanya, are what? What is your actual challenge?
Well, to say that there was one big problem and then everything went smoothly, I would probably be misleading. I will say this. When you start your business journey in Turkey, and not only in Turkey but everywhere, you make a number of mistakes that you only realize after the fact. Well, what is good and what distinguishes a good entrepreneur from a bad one is that you can draw conclusions and learn from your mistakes. Therefore, we encountered issues with improper document management and faced some trust issues when listening to others. You can't rely on anyone. You have to do everything yourself. Here, because often in their enthusiasm, even unconsciously, Turkish citizens, they want to help you, to suggest something, to advise you. They are very caring people, but at the same time, they do not have reliable information and present what they wish for as reality. Unfortunately, this is confusing. Here, it is essential to check everything very thoroughly, and this is a useful tip in the code. Labor, tax, and it translates very well into Russian. It is read, and everything is understood immediately, just as it is in the law book. This is the best way, and what actually helps to avoid some difficulties. They don't. If you do everything right, there is no bureaucracy here that wants to crush you or deny you permission. They understand that you come in, you bring investments, and that you create jobs. In fact, they try to support you.
Well, I generally agree that starting a business in Turkey, I don't know in Alanya, is much easier than starting a business, for example, in the Russian Federation. In general, it's very simple. Documents. Again, if you have a knowledgeable assistant, like an accountant or lawyer, then basically friends, if you are planning to open something, a business of some kind. In any case, market research, requirements for the premises, and you will definitely need a competent accountant. Well, you can always find out there. As a rule, many companies, friends, hire accountants on an outsourcing basis. For example, real estate works there, for instance. Yes, they don't need an in-house accountant there. They manage remotely. In Inal, there is an in-house accountant because you have...
Even two.
You just have purchases, the purchasing part, and so on. You have a lot of sum.
Purchases, yes. There are many iterations that specifically relate to accounting. After all, a restaurant, if you're not doing it for the soul and just to play around, but are doing it as a business, you need to consider everything. This includes napkin. This is quite a meticulous job that requires certain efforts, and good classic accountants are needed.
We all checked. Inal, please tell me, where are your suppliers? Where do you have such a kitchen? You have so many different clients. Where do you purchase from?
In fact, this is one of the difficulties for restaurateurs like us, because we strive to find quality products. To bring Parmesan here, we have to order it from Italy to Istanbul and then transport it from Istanbul here, since there are no direct supplies, of course. We purchase the maximum number of products from foreign suppliers, ordering and transporting them. We have a metro. Fortunately, there is a store here, but it is actually very difficult with suppliers here if you want to find some quality product or some exclusive fresh product that needs to be flown in. This is mainly only through Istanbul, and they have suppliers with whom it is necessary to conduct clear, systematic work to ensure that the restaurant runs like clockwork. This is one of the major difficulties, because the challenge here is specifically working with suppliers. A second meat restaurant has now opened, and we are once again bringing delicious and premium Wagyu, which is high quality, back to the radiation. It also flies directly here from Istanbul. Unfortunately, there are difficulties with meat here. Therefore, everything has to be resolved. Large megacities.
And perhaps another difficulty is that the attitude towards time for foreign citizens in Turkey is somewhat different. They tend to enjoy being late and so on.
I associate this with the fact that not all citizens of Turkey are here. I would disagree. I think it is the southerners. We are on the coast, where bananas grow on palm trees and little fish swim in the sea. And in general, there is no need to rush anywhere. We will eat fish, snack on bananas, and everything will be fine. No need to move. But I have lived my whole life in St. Petersburg, a northern city where if you don't keep moving, you won't live well. So, yes, we just have a difference in the perception of time and the perception of life here. For them, everything seems easier. It's all like that. Each person has their own ambitions. But all the southerners, I think, have lower ambitions because they live in a natural environment. This, in my opinion, is conditioned solely by the natural conditions, the sunshine.
Friends, everyone put on a hat and protective glasses, definitely. And I want to emphasize, friends, you really need to take into account this aspect of the mentality of southern peoples when you are building a business and arranging meetings, and so on. Although there is a Chinese proverb that says, if you are late, the person who is waiting for you has time to remember the worst and the most negative things about you. I always kind of recall it, and I always treat.
They should not be blamed for this in any way. They are like that. They are just like that, and one must simply accept it as a given.
In our episodes, we covered everything about life in Turkey and traveling across the country, where it is warm almost year-round. Tall palm trees, fresh farm fruits and vegetables all year-round. If you decide to choose a place to live here, our company, Prime Invest, will be happy to help you find the best option where you will be happy to live. We are also developers and build beautiful villas with sea and mountain views. All contact details are in the description.
And to understand that this is a fact, it exists. Yes, you will be nervous saying, how can this be? While he will be there with a cocktail on the beach, wearing a hat and sunglasses, and he says, why are you in such a hurry? Everything is fine, just wait. Well, there is simply a difference in business approaches here. They run it their way, we run it our way, and therefore, we are on their territory. We need to respect their temple. I believe that any person, if you do not treat this with respect, will not achieve any success. You must respect and accept it.
Yes, but some simply forget that they have come to another country, and while reading some public posts on various social media, it feels like people have arrived, for example, from some capital or a traditional city and start discussing things here. Why do they treat me this way, and so on.
Well, that's how it is. We are all different. If everyone on planet Earth were the same, it would be harder for us to live.
Let's talk about the restaurant. How many dishes does Sicily offer here?
Well, there are more than 30 different dish options. Plus, we try to create some seasonal stories and update our menu. We have quite an extensive birthday parties, banquets, all of that is present here. Yes, we have weddings, proposals. We are the restaurant group Si, Evet, yes. These are restaurants where you will be told yes, whether it's to do something, a proposal to your beloved girlfriend, or during business negotiations. Our concept is like this. I can even list it in my head. We have everything ready.
So you are currently building a network. We just talked about the fact that you opened another restaurant. Links will be in the Telegram channel in the description to the restaurant. I've tried it and have been there more than once. Well, you eat and just cry. Inal, please tell me, what kind of meat do they offer there?
There is the concept of a meat restaurant, an American retro style from the 70s and 80s. We play jazz and blues there. We have a smoker. We bought several smokers, and it is now the only restaurant with smokers in Ireland. This is smoked meat that we smoke using cherry and sweet cherry wood, which has been soaked in whiskey beforehand. We smoke for 10 to 12 hours. We smoke brisket, beef ribs, and turkey. We make steaks. We brought Wagyu. We have Wagyu available, and all of Turkey in 2 restaurants.
Not everyone knows what it is.
This is Japanese beef of the Kobe variety, marbling A5. It is available in 2 restaurants in Turkey, in mine and in Istanbul, as well as in another restaurant that has a Michelin star.
Friends, if you want meat,
So we invite you to try our burgers and various snacks. Come and see everything for yourself.
pricing policy.
On average, more or less, some things are a bit higher, some things are a bit lower.
So there isn't something like there are local restaurants, for example, and there are local ones, for instance, a restaurant.
I walk in, compare, look at our meat, and think that we are still serving it at a price that is not as high as it could be, because I have a concept not just for a restaurant, but to create a place for affluent people, a restaurant space, while ensuring that these affluent people, or those who love to eat well and are willing to spend money on food, do not feel bad or deceived. That is, if it's a portion, then it's a portion, a large, good, tasty portion of meat or pasta or something else. And when you give more than everyone else and understand what you are giving for, then it seems to me you find pleasure in it. When you go to certain places that are designed for tourists, you visit once, pay above average, and leave, never to return again. Unfortunately, tourists have spoiled the restaurateurs here. Because there are many of them, they walk around, they eat, and if they consume, why bother if it goes on anyway? Well, we are actually talking about something else. We will make an effort so that the local residents, specifically the people who live here and come here year after year to relax, understand that it is better to go there, knowing for sure that the quality is good. We want to become a kind of quality mark in Alanya and slightly raise the restaurant standards here. Therefore, the pricing policy is not because it is greedy, but because it is influenced by suppliers. It is certainly more expensive to buy meat, transport it from Istanbul by plane, and then bring it here to Antalya by car, than to go and buy it at a nearby slaughterhouse in Kasap. Here, the level of production and the approach to the product are completely different.
Ignal, thank you so much for our meeting. Everything was really clear and extremely simple. I wish you prosperity in your business and your journey. I will definitely visit your meat restaurant, which is located in Aba.